Last, let's discuss AFAR final pre-board. So para maging efficient yung discussion natin, sinulat ko na lahat ng solutions on the board. Huwag kayo ma-overwhelm, isa-isahin natin yan. Sige, let's start with number 1. Which of the following interest component calculation basis is least susceptible to manipulation when allocating profits and losses to partners? So least susceptible, pili ka lang between C or D. Yung C, average of beginning and ending, while letter D, weighted average capital. Best answer is weighted average capital. Kasi yung weighted average capital, ang magiging basis mo or yung weights mo dyan ay yung number of months outstanding. While yung letter C, beginning plus ending over 2 lang yan. So, best answer natin dyan is letter D. Number 2, salaries to partners typically should be, letter A, a device for sharing net income. We know yung salaries, ginagamit natin yan as a tool in allocating profits and losses to partners. Number 3, initially a partner's interest in a partnership is generally equal to. So initially, ibig sabihin, date of formation. Punta ka sa letter D. Net assets contributed at fair market value. When you say net assets, yan yung assets less liabilities. Yung A, mali siya, nakalagay increased, dapat decreased. Yung letter B, mali yan, nakalagay book value, dapat fair market value. Yung letter C, total fair market value of assets, kulang, dapat meron less liabilities. Number 4, if at the end of an accounting period, the balance of the investment in branch account is 20,000 and balance ng home office is 25,500, ibig sabihin, mas mababa yung investment in branch than the home office account. Ano daw yung most likely explanation? Punta ka sa letter B, net income of branch not recorded by the home office. Okay, so letter B tayo. Kasi kapag hindi pa nare-record yung home office yan, wala pa siyang entry na debit investment in branch, credit share in net income. So kaya mas mababa pa yung investment in branch account than the home office. Yung A, C, and D, pag ni-record ni home office yan, magke-credit siya na investment in branch. Kaya mas bababa yung investment in branch. Kaya best answer sa atin is letter B for number 4. Number 5, when a secured creditor is not fully settled after foreclosure of the underlying collateral, the remaining portion, or basically ito yung unsecured portion of partially secured, punta ka sa letter D, is classified as an unsecured liability without priority. Number 6, the percentage of completion of a construction contract is based on all of the following except ano daw yung pwede natin basis para ma-determine kung ilang percent complete na yung construction contract natin. Yung A, B, and C, pwedeng basis yan. Yung letter D, hindi. Progress billings and advances received from customers. Actually, opposite pa yan. Kasi yung progress billings, nakadepende yan sa percentage of completion. It's not the other way around. Okay? So, letter D for number 6. Number 7, an advanced cash distribution plan or CDP is prepared. Punta ka sa letter C to determine the order and the amount of cash each partner will receive as it becomes available for distribution. Sige, let's go to numbers 8 and 9. Home office and branch tayo. So, ito yung solution natin, class. Okay? So, ito yung table natin. Ito yung transactions with outside suppliers. Ito naman yung computation of the combined net income. Sige, so, the following information were taken from the records. Punta tayo dun sa given, may nakalagay dyan class na shipments from home office, 180,000. Lagyan natin dito yan. And then, meron dyan sa baba, nakalagay shipments to branch, 150. So, difference sila. 180 and 150 is 30,000. Pag dinivide mo siya, 30,000 divided by 150,000, that's 20% markup above cost. Okay? And then, AOI sa given, nakalagay 31,500. So, ito siya. 31,500 minus 30,000, you get 1,500. I-gross up natin, pag dinivide mo yung 1,500 by 20%, makukuha mo dyan 7,500. Plus mo yung dalawa na makukuha mo yung 9,000. Okay? So, goods available for sale, add lang natin sila. And then, tingin tayo sa baba, ending inventory. Sa babang baba, last given, branch 40% from outside suppliers, the rest from home office. So, 40,000 times 40% is 16,000. Ito siya. Okay? So, 40,000 minus 16,000, yung 24,000 ay ito siya. Okay? 24,000, i-divide natin by 1.2 kasi 20% yung markup, makukuha mo yung 20. 24 minus 20, you can have 4,000. Okay? Minus mo sila, makukuha mo yung cost of goods sold. Ang question sa atin sa number 8, how much is the overstatement of the branch's cost of goods sold? Sagot mo dyan, 27,500. Letter D tayo for number 8. And then, combined net income daw. So, tingnan natin class. Kung titingin ka dun sa inventory January 1 sa books ni branch, andun sa second item, 19,000 yung nakalagay. Okay? 19,000 minus mo sa 9,000, ibig sabihin, yung 10,000 yung beginning inventory coming from outside suppliers. Okay? We have purchases na given, 20,000, minus ending cost of goods sold ni branch ay 14,000. Okay? Punta tayo dito, yung computation mo ng net income ni home office. Start tayo kay home office, yung sales niya, according to sa given, sa middle portion, 400,000. Beginning inventory, 40, given yan. Purchases, 210,000. Shipments to branch, huwag mo kalimutan i-minus yung 150. Yung ending inventory, given din nasa baba, 50,000 yung nakalagay. OPEX, huwag mo kalimutan i-minus because net income yung kino-compute natin, 210. Net income ni home office, 140,000. Si branch naman, meron siyang sales, 300, nandun sa first item. Cost of goods sold, syempre, at cost yung gagamitin natin, dalawa yan, 137.5. And then yung from outside na 14,000. Don't forget to deduct yung OPEX na 80. Therefore, yung net income ni branch ay 68.5. Net income ni home office, 140,000. Net income ni branch at cost is 68.5. Add mo yan, combined net income, 208,500 for number 9. Calculate the combined net income, letter D yung sagot natin dyan, 208,500. Okay? Sige. Next natin is, by the way class, baka hindi nyo nakikita yung nasa babang portion, no? Baka hindi kita sa camera. So don't worry, didictate ko na lang mamaya kung ano yung sinulat ko dito. Okay? Let's go to numbers 10 and 11. So net income, allocation tayo to the partners. Sige. So first question is, what is the total interest on average capital balances and what is the partnership net profit? So tingin kayo dito class. Sige. So tingin tayo dun sa middle portion. Salaries allowed to partners, 300 for A, 240 for B, and 180 for C. So bigyan tayong salaries, total niyan is 720,000. Average partners capital balances, 10%. So computin natin yung average capital balance nila. Start tayo kay A, nag-invest siya ng 500,000 January 1 times 12 over 12. That's 500. Tingin ka dun sa third bullet, A invested additional 300,000 on June 30. 300,000 times 6 over 12, 150. Average capital balance ni A is 650,000 times 10%. Interest niya is 65,000. Punta tayo kay B, nag-invest siya ng 750,000 January 1 times 12 over 12, 750,000. Wala nang other transactions si B. Multiply mo by 10%, 750 times 10% ay 75,000. Kay C naman, nag-invest siya 1,125,000 January 1 times 12 over 12. And then, tingin ka dun sa fourth bullet, nag-withdraw siya ng 350,000. Minus 350 kasi withdrawal times 3 over 12 because September 30 yan eh. October, November, December, 3 months na lang yung natitira. Minus 87.5, 103,750 times 10%. Interest ni C is 103,750. I-total mo lahat yan, 243,750. Kaya yung sagot natin sa number 10, total interest is 243,750. Nakalagay dun sa last bullet, share of the remaining partnership profit, 25,000 each partner, plus 25,000 each, total is 75. Add mo lahat yung class. Ito yung share ni A, 390,000, share ni B, 340, share ni C is 308,750. Pag in-add mo lahat yan, iyan yung partnership net profit, 103,850. Letter B for number 11. Okay, let's go to number 12. Number 12 natin is, saan tayo? Number 12 is, okay, so this is corporate liquidation. So, kumpitin natin class yung how much daw yung profit or loss. Okay, so let's go to number 12. Solution natin dyan ay, nasaan yung number 12 natin? This one. Okay, start tayo with assets. Assets to be realized, 1.9 million. Assets acquired, 100. Pag tinotal mo yan, yun yung total assets natin. Minus assets not realized, yung hindi natin nabenta. Therefore, 1,160,000, yun yung book value ng assets na binenta natin. How much natin binenta yan? Assets realized, 600,000. Book value, 1,160. Binenta mo for 600. Therefore, meron kang loss na 560,000. Let's go to liabilities. Liabilities to be liquidated, 1.3 million. Liabilities assumed, 30,000. Total liabilities natin, 1,330,000. Liabilities not liquidated, iyan yung hindi natin na binayaran liabilities. Therefore, yung book value ng binayaran natin liabilities, 693. How much yung binayad natin dyan? 700. Mas malaki yung binayad mo. Therefore, meron kang loss na 7,000. Compute natin yung profit or loss. May nakalagay dyan, supplementary credits, iyan yung other income, 603,000. Supplementary charges, 180 minus yan. May dalawang loss tayo, 560 and 70. Minus 560 minus 70. Therefore, net loss mo dyan, 144,000. Letter B for number 12. Okay, 13 and 14, job order costing. T-account lang tayo. Ito yung solution natin dyan, class. Sige, so Mr. Accounting Corp is a manufacturing company. The following information on inventory is available in June 1. Lagay natin sa T-account yan. Yung WIP, 10,710. Nilagay siya sa T-account ng WIP. Yung direct materials, 48.6, nilagay ko siya sa T-account ng direct materials. Okay, in analyzing the job order cost sheet, the records disclose the composition of working process. So basically, pinakita lang yung composition ng 10,710. Punta ka sa baba, the following manufacturing activity occurred during the year. Purchase direct materials, 60, nilagay ko yan sa debit ng raw materials natin. And then, direct labor hours, 99 hours at 5. So, 99 times 5, yung direct labor natin class, is 49,500. Factory overhead, 2.5 per direct labor hour. Ilan ulit yung direct labor hours? 99 times 2.5, 24,750. Okay? And then, yung ending work in process natin, 24,210. Nilagay ko sa dulong T account. And then, yung direct materials, 51,000. Sold for extra direct materials, 48,600 plus 60 minus 51. Raw materials used natin is 57,600. Add mo lahat yan. Raw materials used, 57,600. Direct labor, 49,500. Overhead, 24,750. Total manufacturing cost natin dito is 131,850. Letter C tayo for number 13. And then, yung WIP natin class, beginning, ito yung ending. Okay? Total manufacturing cost, pasok natin yan sa debit ng WIP. 10,710 plus 131,850 minus ending na 24,210. Yung cost of goods manufactured natin is 118,350. Letter B tayo for number 14. Okay? So, usual T account lang ang technique natin for job order costing. Let's go to numbers 16. Numbers 15 and 16. Ito, partnership pa rin tayo. This is admission. So, tingin natin class. 15 and 16. Yung solution natin is this one. Okay, tingin kayo dito. Sige. So, meron tayo mga balances ng partners, 810, tingin ka sa capital balance, 810, 729, and 486. So, nilagay ko lang siya dyan. Yan yung mga unadjusted balances natin. The partners agree to admit D for a 1/5 interest. Tama ba, class? Pag sinabing 1/5, 1/5 is 20% interest yan. The fair value of the land is appraised at 900. So, yung value of the land is 900. Tingin ka dun sa balance sheet. How much yung land dun? 800. 800 naging 900. Increase tayo ng 100. O, ito yun. Increase ng 100. And the market value of inventory is 250. Tingin ka dun sa balance sheet, 200 yung inventory, magiging 250. So, ibig sabihin, increase ka na 50,000. So, total increase ng assets natin, 150. Allocate muna natin yan sa partners. 150. Allocate natin sa partners according to the P&L ratio, 5:3:2. 75,000 for A, 45,000 for B, and 30,000 for C. So, ito yung adjusted capital balances sila. 885,000 for A, si B is 74,000, si C ay 516,000. Pag in-add mo yung adjusted capital balances nila, makukuha mo class ay 2,175,000. Take note na si D ay gustong magkaroon ng 20%. Ibig sabihin, yung 2,175,000 represents 80% of the total partnership capital. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, according to number 15, how much cash will D have to invest? Grinosap ko, 2,175,000. Grinosap ko, dinivide ko by 80% para makuha ko yung 100%. Minutultiply ko by 20%, ibig sabihin si D, kailangan niya mag-invest ng 543,750. Letter D tayo for number 15, 543,750. Okay, number 16. Suppose D instead paid 450,000 directly to old partners for 20% each of their respective capital to acquire 1/5 interest. How much will be C's capital after this admission and how much will be received in exchange for her sold interest? So, ginawa ko dito, class, kung makikita nyo si C ay meron siyang adjusted balance ay 516,000. Tama? Ang ginawa dito is private transaction na lang. Tama? Bibili niya yung interest ng mga partners. So, gagawin dyan, how much na lang daw yung capital ni C? Well, yung 516,000, bibili yung 20%, matitira sa kanya 80%. Times 80%, 4,1 to 800. Yan yung magiging balance ni C. Okay? So, it's either, actually, A na yung sagot natin kasi yan na naman yung 4,1 to 800. Pero tingnan natin, class, kung paano na-compute yung second question. How much cash will be received in exchange for her sold interest? Ginawa ko dyan, class, total capital ng partnership ay 2,175,000. Tama? Ang binili ni D ay 20%. So, that is 435,000. Pero ang binayad niya, nakalagay sa problem, suppose D paid 450,000. So, ibig sabihin, 435, pero ang binayad niya 450. Sobra yung binayad ni D na 15,000. Okay? Paghahati-hatian niya ng partners. Ano yung P&L ratio nila? 5:3:2. Yung 15,000 na sobra, 50% niyan or 7,500 mapupunta kay A, 30% niyan or 4,500 mapupunta kay B, 20% niyan or 3,000 mapupunta kay C. So, ang ginawa ko dyan, how much daw yung marireceive ni B? Ang capital ni B ay 774,000. Tama ba? Yung adjusted capital niya. Multiply natin by 20% because iyan yung binibili ni D. Pero wag mo kalimutan na sobra yung binayad ni D na we're in 4,500 doon or yung 30% ng 15,000 ay mapupunta kay B. So, ang ginawa ko, adjusted capital ni B, 774,000 times 20%, in-add ko pa yung 4,500, okay, na bonus kay B. Therefore, ang total cash na marireceive ni B ay 159,300. Kaya sagot natin sa number 16 is letter A. Okay? Sige, that's for number 16. Number 17, translation. Nakalagay, which exchange Rates of exchange should be used to translate the items. Okay? Kapag translation, alam natin class, lahat ng assets and liabilities at closing rate. So yung non-current assets, receivables, and non-current liabilities, lahat yan at closing rate, letter A tayo for number 17. Number 18, gains and losses on the hedged asset or liability and the hedging instrument for fair value hedge. Pag fair value hedge, profit or loss. Kapag cash flow hedge, dun ka magiging OCI. Okay? Number 19, a national government agency incurred an obligation on April 2024 for the purchase of IT software for 120,000 for delivery and payment on August 2024. The entry to be recorded by the agency, obligation pa lang to. Tama ba? So, and software sa IT software. So, pwede mo i-classify as PPE. So, best answer dito, class, i-record muna natin dun sa memo entry in RAOCO. Letter D tayo for number 19. Let's go to number 20. The units of transferred in from the first department to the second department should be included in the computation of the equivalent units for the second department for which of the following methods. So, ito yung trans-in account, okay? Sa process costing. Whether 5 or average, lagi tayong may transferred in column dun sa second department natin. So, yes and yes yan. Letter A tayo for number 20. Number 21, a consignor consigned 1,000 units to a consignee. The consignor should recognize the revenue from the consignment when, kailan ulit class, magre-record ng consignment revenue si consignor. Punta ka sa letter D, the consignee sells the goods and informs the consignor of the sale. Pag nakabenta na and nag-notify na kay consignor, yun lang yung moment na pwede mag-record ng revenue si consignor. Number 22, cost estimates on a long-term contract may indicate that a loss will result on completion of the entire contract. In this case, the entire expected loss, so kapag yung contract price ay mas mababa sa total cost, letter A, recognized in the current period regardless of whether the percentage of completion or zero profit method. So pag ganun, may expected loss tayo, i-recognize mo siya 100% immediately, whether percentage of completion or zero profit method. Okay, so 23-24, ito naman ay partnership liquidation. 23 and 24, asan siya? Ito siya. Okay, punta tayo dito. Sige, the balance sheet of ABC, okay, on January 1, so yung capital balance natin, capital balance nila, check natin. Si A, meron siyang 2,000, pero merong A loan, 1,000. So, in-add ko, nakuha ko 3,000. Si B naman, meron siyang B capital, 9,000. Si C, meron siyang 12,000 C capital, pero merong C loan na nasa debit, minus natin, 12 minus 2, nakuha ko yung 10,000. Ang P&L nila, 20%, 40%, and 40%. In January, other assets with book value of 16,000 were sold for 10,000. So, ginawa ko, meron akong proceeds na 10, pero ang kinumpare ko na book value, yung total. Okay? Ang total book value na nandun sa balance sheet ay 26,000 para makuha ko na yung maximum possible loss. So, MPL natin, 16,000. Distribute natin yung MPL dun sa tatlong partners according to their P&L ratio. 16,000 times 20%, that's minus 3,2. 16,000 times 40%, that's 6,4. And 6,4 also for partner C. Ang magne-negative dyan is si partner A. 200 negative. Ay positive pa rin si B and C. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan nilang i-absorb. 40-40 sila, hati. So, 100 minus 100 kay B minus 100 kay C. Capital balances ni B and C, 2,5 and 3,5. That's why ang sagot natin dito, letter B, si A, 0. Si B, 2,5. Si C ay 3,5. B for number 23. Number 24, if the partners will have retained available cash of 400, after liabilities have been paid, how much will be received from cash distribution? Ay, ibig sabihin lang yan, yung 400, magpo-form part din siya ng maximum possible loss. So, instead of 16,000, mag-plus 400 ka pa dyan, 16,400 na yung MPL natin. 16,400, allocate natin to the three partners, 20% to A, 3,280, 40% to B, 6,560, 40% to B, 6,560. Magne-negative dito, si partner A, negative 280, hati si partner B and C, i-absorb nila, 40-40, minus 140 kay B, minus 140 kay C. Capital balance si B is 2,3, capital balance ni C is 3,3. Sagot natin class, ang tanong dito is si B, 2,3 yung sagot natin. Okay? Final answer, letter D tayo for number 24. Let's go to number 25. 25, this one. Okay? ABC were partners with capital balances of January 1, 560, 672, 560, 672, and 496. P&L nila, 3:5:2. Okay. On August 1, A retires from the partnership. So, nagkaroon ng retirement. On the date of the retirement, the partnership net loss, 384. Take note, net loss, kaya nag-negative ako dyan. Negative 384. And then, the partners agreed to revalue inventories 296 to 296 from 272. Tumaas. 272 siya initially, naging 296. That's an increase of 24,000. So, plus 24. Ang net effect niyan ay minus 360. Okay? Allocate natin yung 360,000 to the 3 partners. 3:5:2, 108,000 kay A, negative. 180,000 kay B, negative. 72,000 kay C, negative. Okay? So, adjusted capital balance of the partners, 452, 492, and 424. Ang magre-retire dito ay si A. Okay? How much yung binayad sa kanya? Nakalagay dyan, the payment to A, 454,800. 452,000 lang dapat yung ibabayad kay A, pero ang binayad sa kanya ay 454,800. May difference na 28, bonus kay A yun. Ibabawas natin yan kay B and C. Okay? So yung 28, ibawas natin kay B and C using their P&L ratio times 5/7 kay B, 2,000 yan, negative. 28 times 2/7 kay C, negative 800. Okay? So, magiging capital balance si B, 490,000. Si C naman ay 423,200. Among the choices, ang tamang sagot dyan ay letter D. B's capital is 66,800 more than C. Kasi yung 490,000, pag minus sa 423,200 yan, 66,800 yan. Okay? Mas mataas daw yung capital ni B kay C by 66,800. Letter D tayo for number 25. Okay, number 26. HOBA. Okay, so reconciliation. Asan na yan? Ito. Reconciliation, this one. Baka hindi nyo yata kita sa camera, so didictate ko na lang yung mga hindi nyo kita na portion, ha? Pero basically, reconciliation yun na investment in branch account and home office account. On December 1, the investment in branch shows a balance of 168,000. So meron tayong unadjusted, 168. Letter A, merchandise billed at 12/3 was shipped by the home office to the branch. The merchandise is in transit and has not been recognized on the books of the branch. So, syempre, plus 12/3 tayo sa books ni branch. HO plus 12/3. B, the branch collected home office AR of 50,000 but failed to notify the home office of this collection. Basically, nagkaroon ng cash si branch. Therefore, tataas yung investment in branch natin. Plus 50,000 tayo sa investment in branch. Letter C, the home office was charged 12/8 when the branch returned merchandise to the home office. The merchandise is in transit. So, binalik yung merchandise ni branch kay home office. So, minus tayo. Minus 12/8. The home office recorded incorrectly the branch net income of 22,500. The branch reported net income of 25,200. 25,200 minus 22,500 is 27,000. Kulang yung nirecord ni home office. So, mag-plus 27,000 tayo dyan. Okay, compute natin yung adjusted investment in branch account. 168,000 plus 50,000 minus 12,800 plus 27,000. Yung adjusted balance natin is 207,900. Copy-paste, 207,900. Ang tanong sa atin is unadjusted balance. 207,900 minus 12,300. Makukuha mo dyan is 195,600. Letter D tayo for number 26. Okay, number 27. This is translation. So, focus kayo dito, class. Translation. On December 31, a foreign subsidiary in Australia, the following account stated in functional currency. The presentation currency is the Philippine peso. Okay? So, how much daw yung cumulative translation adjustment? Total assets na 245,000 Australian dollars. Kapag translation, lahat ng assets at closing rate. 245,000 times, ano ba yung closing rate natin or yung current rate? 8.75. 245,000 times 8.75, makukuha mo yung 2,143,750. Total liabilities, 49,000 times the current exchange rate na 8.75, makukuha mo dyan, class, 428,750. Ordinary shares, date of issuance or historical rate, 122,500 times 8.10, 992,250. Retained earnings, average ang gagamitin natin dyan. So, 73,500 times 8.5, RE natin is 624,750. Compute natin yung credit, liabilities, ordinary shares, and RE, 204,550. Difference nila, class, kailangan meron tayong FCTA na credit para magbalance yan, 98,000. Letter D tayo for number 27. Number 28, when there is an intercompany transaction, how much of any profit or loss created as a result of the transaction is eliminated during the consolidation process? Okay, so kapag may intercompany transaction, lahat yan, 100%, kailangan natin i-eliminate yan. Letter B, all of the profit or loss is eliminated. B for number 28. 29, the COA is responsible for, punta ka sa letter D, promulgating accounting and auditing rules and regulations. Yung A, si DBM bahala dyan, okay? Department of Budget and Management. Yung B, si BTR yan, Bureau of Treasury. Yung letter C, directly implementing the projects, yan yung mga national government agencies. Letter D tayo for number 29. Okay? So, dito naman tayo. So, this is derivatives, 30 and 31. Ito lang yung solution natin dyan, class. Number 30, tingnan natin. On October 1, CPA Inc. bought a passenger truck from a Japanese firm. So, bumili tayo, may payable. Okay, the purchase price is 1 million. Ito siya. And then, payment on March 31. Nag-enter ng forward contract, 1 million yen. And then, yung price is 0.53. Okay, so yun yung forward rate. On March 31, the passenger truck was delivered. Number 30, the December 31 profit or loss will report foreign exchange gain or loss on the hedged item amounted to, okay, so 1 million, yung hedged item, again, spot rate yung gagamitin natin. Ang tanong sa atin is December 31, 2024. Compare natin yung October 1 and December 31. 0.5, October 1, December 31 is 0.56. Makukuha mo dyan, class, is 60,000. Bakit siya naging loss? Kasi meron tayong payable, 0.5 naging 0.56. Tataas yung babayaran natin. May loss tayo. 60,000. Kaya lang, class, ang sagot mo dapat dito ay letter A. Okay? 60,000 loss sa fair value hedge and then 0 sa cash flow hedge. Remember sa discussion natin, kapag cash flow hedge, yung hedged item, normal accounting yan. Huwag mo ima-mark to market or if-fair value yan. Okay? Kaya 0 yung cash flow hedge natin. Nakuha mo yan? So, letter A tayo for number 30. Number 31, the December 31, 2024 foreign exchange gain on forward contract amounted to, so tingnan natin, yung forward contract naman, class, 1 million. And then, yung nakalock in tayo sa 0.53. And naging 0.58 siya noong December 31. So, 0.53 minus 0.58 times 1 million, you have 50,000. Okay? So, meron tayong gain. Una, opposite dapat ng loss lagi yan. Tama? And also, since sa mangyayari dyan, yung forward contract natin ay mas mababa, nakalock in tayo dyan. Kahit tumaas yan, walang problema. Favorable sa atin. Kasi nakalock in tayo at a lower price. 50,000, gain yung sagot mo dyan. Actually, pag fair value hedge, P&L yan, income statement. Kapag cash flow hedge ay equity. Letter A tayo for number 31. So, ulitin ko, class, pag fair value hedge, yung hedged item at hedging instrument, fine-fair value natin yan. Yung pag cash flow hedge, ang fine-fair value mo lang ay yung hedging instrument. Hindi mo pinapakialaman yung hedged item. Kaya dun sa number 30, 0 sagot natin sa cash flow hedge. Okay? Sige. Numbers 32 and 33, option contract. Tingin kayo dito, class. Ito yung table natin sa options. So, December 1, AFAR company paid a premium to purchase a 90-day at the money call option. Strike price is 1.2. The option's purpose is to protect an exposed liability of 5.5 million. Okay? So, tingnan natin. May table tayo dyan. Fair value of call option, 33,000. Nilagay ko lang sa fair value. And then, 462,000 naman tayo dun sa December 31. Again, intrinsic value natin, class, lagi yan. At the start is 0. Pero pwede mo i-double check yan. 1.2 yung spot rate, 1.2 yung strike price, so 0 yan. Ibig sabihin, difference ng time value, difference ng fair value and intrinsic value sa time value, 33,000. Compute natin, class, yung intrinsic value in December 31, 5.5 million times S minus X. Kasi call option. Ano yung S natin? Spot price na 1.28, strike price is 1.2. So, multiply natin. 5.5 million, or minus muna natin, 1.28 minus 1.2 times 5.5 million, intrinsic value mo is 440. And then, balancing figure, 462 minus 440, time value natin is 22,000. And we know yung time value, laging 0 na yan sa dulo. Compute natin, class, yung intrinsic value ng March 1. 5.5 million times S minus X, yung S, 1.27, X natin is 1.2, intrinsic value is 385,000. Punta tayo sa number 32, the gain or loss on option contract due to change in the ineffective portion. Pag ineffective portion, yun yung time value, tama? Noong 2024 daw. So, from 33,000, okay, naging 22. 33, naging 22, bumaba siya, okay, bumaba ng 11,000. Alam natin, pag options, pag bumaba, loss. Pag tumaas, gain, bumaba. 11,000 loss tayo dyan. Letter A for number 32. Okay, dito tayo sa number 33. The gain or loss on option contract due to change in the effective portion ng 2025. Effective portion naman. So, from 440, okay, naging 385. 440, naging 385. Bumaba. Ano difference yan? 440 minus 385, 55,000. So, that is a loss. Letter A for number 33. Okay, number 34, in a business combination, if the acquisition date fair value of the net of acquisition date amounts of the identifiable assets acquired and liabilities of the acquirer is higher than the aggregate of the acquisition date, etc. So basically, class, ang ibig sabihin lang yan, yung fair value of net identifiable assets, mas mataas daw sa consideration transferred. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Mas mababa yung binayad mo, okay, para i-acquire yung subsidiary or yung acquiree. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong gain on bargain purchase. Number 34, letter B yung sagot natin, class. Okay, number 35 and 36, date of acquisition. So, tingin kayo dito, 35, ito siya. Okay, on January 1, RR Corporation acquired 80% of SS Corporation's par common stock for 956. Ito yung purchase price natin, 956. On this date, the fair value of NCI is 239. Add mo yan, yung total natin is 1,195,000. The fair value of identifiable assets were the same as their carrying amount, except for plant assets with the remaining life of 20 years were 100,000. So take note, yung carrying amount based on the second sentence is 1 million. Tapos class, 100,000 daw in excess. So 1 million plus 100,000, yung FVNIA is 1.1 million. Ang binayad natin is 1,195, ang binibili natin is 1.1 million. Ibig sabihin, may goodwill tayo na 95,000, letter C for number 35. 36, in the conso balance sheet, the amount of NCI. T-account tayo sa NCI. Beginning balance natin NCI is 239,000. Given sa problem yan, yung fair value. And then, nakalagay for the year ended, net income of 190,000 si subsidiary, paid cash dividends totaling 125. So, gagawin ko dyan, class, net income ni subsidiary is 190,000. Tama? Kaya lang may excess ka na 100,000 kanina. Ilan yung remaining useful life? 100,000 divided by 20, makakompute mo dyan, class, is 5,000. Okay? So, meron tayong excess depreciation. 190,000 minus 5, ang adjusted net income ni subsidiary ay 185,000. Okay? Now, 185,000, ilang percent si NCI? 20%. 185,000 times 20%, si NCI, yung share niya ay 37,000. Nilagay ko siya dun sa credit. And then, alam natin, bababa yung NCI pag nag-declare ng dividends. Nakalagay, ang dividends ay 125,000. Multiply mo sa 20%, makukuha mo dyan is 25,000. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, T-account lang tayo. Beginning balance sa NCI, 239,000. Plus share in net income na 37,000. Minus dividends na 25,000. Balance sa NCI, 251,000. Letter C for number 36. 37. Company P acquired S company in exchange for cash. The acquisition price exceeds the fair value. How should Company P determine the amounts to be reported? PPA, long-term debt of Company S. So, PPE at fair value. Long-term debt is at fair value. Lagi naman ganun, tama? Yung assets and liabilities sa subsidiary, lagi sila naka-fair value. Number 37, letter B yung sagot natin dyan. Number 38, which of the following balances appears on Conso FS? Goodwill previously reported in the subsidiary's books. Investment in subsidiary, hindi yan. Dividend income, hindi. Best answer natin dito, class, is letter D. Plant assets reported in the subsidiary's books. Yung PPE ni subsidiary, naka-report yan sa Conso. At fair value, letter D tayo for number 38. Number 39, P Corporation owns 90% of S. And then, S sold equipment to P for an amount greater than the equipment's book value but less than its original cost. The equipment should be reported in December 31 consolidated balance sheet at. So, nagkaroon ng upstream sale, tama? Si subsidiary nagbenta kay parent. Pero alam natin, class, kailangan i-eliminate natin yung upstream sales na yan. Lahat ng intercompany. Yung equipment, dapat naka-record siya in the Conso balance sheet at original cost ni S yung nagbenta. Okay, letter C tayo, SS original cost. Number 40, parent company acquired 90% ownership of subsidiary in 2024 at underlying book value. On that date, the fair value of NCI was equal to 10%. Parent purchased inventory from subsidiary for 90,000 August 1 and resold 70% of the inventory to unrelated companies for 100,000. Subsidiary produced the inventory sold to parent for 67,000. What amount of sales will be reported in the 2024 Conso income statement? Actually, dito, hindi mo na kailangan mag-compute. Okay, analyze mo lang. Whenever merong intercompany sales, ini-eliminate natin yan. Tama ba? Kailan ka lang pwede mag-recognize ng sales sa income, sa consolidated income statement pag nabenta mo na yan to third parties? How much yung nabenta sa third parties? Nakalagay dyan, 100,000. Yun lang yung mag-a-appear na sales in the consolidated income statement. That's why for number 40, letter C yung sagot natin dyan, 100,000. Okay? Numbers 41 to 43, nagkaroon ng intercompany sale. Asan siya? Tingin kayo dito, class. Okay? So, tingin natin. P Corporation holds 60%. Okay, circle mo yung 60%. On January 1, S purchased a delivery equipment with an expected useful life of 5 years. Subsequently, on January 1, 2024, so after 2 years, nagbenta. S sold the equipment to P, so upstream sales, subsidiary to parent. Recorded the following journal entry. Alam natin, class, kailangan i-eliminate mo yan. Tama ba? Ngayon, sa libro ni P, in P's book, si parent, ito yung entry niya. Ito yung actual entry niya. Nung binili niya yung equipment kay S, debit equipment, credit cash, 53,000. Yun yung binayad niya. Again, kailangan natin i-eliminate yan. So, number 41, in preparing the working paper eliminating entries, the equipment should be debited for. Ito class yung working paper eliminating entry. Tanggalin mo yung gain. Dapat walang gain kasi intercompany. So, debit gain, 15,000. Ngayong class, nung binili ni P yan, nag-record siya ng equipment 53. Pero dapat ay 50,000 lang. 50,000 pala to. Yung na-record ni P ay 50,000. Okay, yun yung binayad niya. Tama? Pero dapat yung equipment ay naka 53,000. Tama? Kasi dapat walang intercompany transaction na nangyari in the first place. Kaya kailangan mag-debit kang equipment na 3,000. So, ulitin ko. Ang original cost ng equipment ay 53. Tama? Ang record ni parent nung binili niya yan ay 50. So, kailangan i-add back mo yung 3,000. Kaya nag-debit tayo. Tanggalin mo na rin yung i-reverse mo rin yung accumulated depreciation na 18,000. So, ito class yung working paper entry natin. Debit gain, 15. Debit equipment, 3,000. Credit accumulated depreciation, 18,000. That's why, 41, in preparing the working paper eliminating entries, the equipment would be debited for 3,000, letter A, for number 41. Okay. Controlling interest, ibig sabihin yung share ni parent in the conso net income for 2024 was, okay, so ganito gawin natin class. Tingin ka dun sa last sentence, S reported net income of 55,000, si P naman ay 98,000. Siyempre si P, lahat yan sa kanya. Sa kanya yung net income niya, 100%. Si S naman, tingin natin. Ito yung net income ni S, 55,000. Tama? And then, yung gain, tanggalin mo yan. Minus 15 natin. Pero take note, depreciable asset yan. So mayroong related depreciation yan. 15,000, i-divide ko siya by 3. Sir, bakit by 3 yung useful life? Kasi ang original useful life ay 5 years. Nakalipas na yung 2 years. Tama? 2022 binili, 2024 binenta. Ibig sabihin, ang remaining life ay 3 years. 15,000 divided by 3, 5,000 yan. Alam natin, laging opposite yan. Pag minus yung gain, plus yung depreciation. Pag plus yung loss, minus yung depreciation. So yung adjusted net income ni subsidiary ay 45,000. Ang pupunta kay parent, 60%. Ano yung 60% ng 45? 27,000. Kaya yun yung sagot ko dyan. 98 plus 27, attributable to parent, 125,000. Letter B tayo for number 42. And then number 43, the controlling interest. Ano daw yung share ni NCI dun sa net income ni subsidiary? Yung 45,000 na adjusted net income, 40% kay NCI. Take note 40 kasi ang binili ni parent ay 60. So 45,000 times 40%, that's 18,000. Letter A tayo for number 43. Okay, 44. Ito naman yung conso net income attributable to controlling interest or parent. Asa yung solution natin dyan? 44 ito siya. Okay? ABC Corporation paid 250,000 for a 90% interest. At this price, paid an amount of 90 was excess over underlying book value. The excess was allocated 40,500 to an undervalued equipment with 3-year remaining useful life. Okay, so NCI is measured at fair value. Ito class yung mga net income nila, si ABC and DEF. Tingnan natin yung conso net income. Sa ABC muna tayo. 100% ng kay ABC ay sa kanya lahat yan, 1,225,000. And then, yung net income ni subsidiary na 250,000, 90% yan yung share ni parent. 250 times 90%, yun yung 225,000. Don't forget na may excess tayo na how much yung excess dyan sa problem nakalagay is 40,500. 40,500, i-divide mo yung class by 3, makukuha mo yung 13,500. Okay? Kailangan, yun yung additional depreciation natin. Ano ba yung share ni parent? 90% lang. 13,500 times 90%, minus 12,150 tayo. And don't forget na may nakalagay dyan na dividend income from subsidiary na 225, syempre tanggalin mo ng buo yan. That's why ang share ni parent sa conso net income ay 121,850. Letter C tayo for number 44. Number 45, an NPO has the following transactions during the year. So tingnan natin class kung ano yung effects sa cash flows, statement of cash flows. Bullet number 1, receive unrestricted cash. Kapag unrestricted, operating yan. So lagay mo dyan first bullet, operating. Number 2, receive cash contribution, 100,000 restricted. Pag restricted, financing. And then number 3, purchase a piece of equipment, bumili na, so investing na, outflow. Sagot mo dyan for number 45, Operating 500, financing 100, investing minus 100. 45, letter B. Okay, number 46. This is about joint venture. 46 is this one. Okay, so tingnan natin. On January 1, FAR Corporation acquires 50%. So take note, 50% yung binili. Total cost of 1.1 million. Lagyan natin sa T account natin yan. The invest is properly classified as joint venture. Statement of comprehensive income, may profit na 2.5 million, OCI na 500. So, kasama yung OCI, okay? 2.5 million plus 500, 3 million yun. 3 million times 50%, yung share sa joint venture, 1.5 million, okay? And then, declared dividends. 300,000. Pero take note class, nakalagay, declared 300,000 cash dividends to FAR. Ibig sabihin yung 300,000 na yan ay naka 50% na. Hindi mo na kailangan i-multiply sa 50%. Okay? Kasi nakalagay, dividends to FAR. Okay? So, diretso 300,000 dyan. Yun lang yung trick dyan actually. 1.1 plus 1.5 minus 300, 2.3 million. Letter C for number 46. Number 47, JV company. Ito. Ay still joint venture, tingin kayo dito class. Classified as SME, purchased 5,000 shares for 100 per share. 5,000 times 100, that is 500,000. Okay. And then, tingnan natin. Paid 1% broker's commission. So, times 1.01, 505,000 yan. And then, the shares purchased represent 50%. During the year, ABC earned 200,000 net income, declared 50,000 cash dividends. The fair value of the shares amounted to 110 per share. Estimated cost to sell is 12. O, compute natin yung recoverable amount o yung fair value less cost to sell. 5,000 yung shares. Fair value is 110, cost to sell is 12. Makukuha mo dyan class, recoverable amount is 490,000. Alin daw yung incorrect dito? The initial recognition, so cost method daw yung ginamit, ha? Cost method. Initial recognition is 505, tama yan. Kapag cost method, yung transaction cost, kinakapitalize natin yan. The balance of the investment in joint venture at the end of the year is 505. Yun yung mali. Kasi yung cost mo mababa sa recoverable amount. Dapat nakapresent yan at 490,000 end of the year. Letter B yung sagot mo dyan, class. For number 47, dapat 490,000. Dividend income of 25,000 will be recognized by JV company. Tama yan. Ibig sabihin, yung dividends na dineclare na 50,000, 50% yung share ni JV. So, ibig sabihin, that is 25,000. Cost method is, ibig sabihin, dividend income siya i-record. Share in net income will not be recognized. Tama lang, hindi i-recognize kasi cost method. I-recognize mo yung share kapag naka-equity method ka. Okay? And then, so ayan. So, that's why letter B tayo for 47. Numbers 48 and 49, LTCC. Concentrate kayo dito. Sige, so let's read the given. On January 1, GHI Builders won a bidding to build an athletic stadium. The project was to be built at a total cost of 5.5 million and was scheduled for completion by September 1. One clause of the contract stated that GHI was to deduct 15,000 from the 6.6 million bid price or your contract price in the last year of the project of each week that completion was delayed. Okay, completion 2025 was delayed for 6 weeks. Penalty yan basically. 6 weeks times 15,000. Tama ba class? Yung penalty dito is 90,000. Okay, ginawa ko dyan. Chinek ko muna, baka yung contract price natin mas mababa sa total cost. So, i-check natin yan for each year. 2023, 24, and 25. Contract price natin in 2023, 6.6 million. 2024, 6.6 million. Take note, yung penalty sa dulo yan sa last year. 6.6 million minus 90,000, 6,510,000. Okay? Total cost natin is 5.4 million. So, nakuha natin, sir, yan. Tingin ka doon sa table sa baba. Cost incurred each year, 1,782 plus estimated cost to complete, 3,618, nakuha ko yung total cost na 5.4. Positive naman, walang problema sa 2023. Sa 2024, cost incurred each year na 2023, plus mo yung 2024, plus mo yung estimated cost to complete, makukuha mo yung 5.5 million. Walang problema, positive, 1.1 million. Let's go to 2025. Add mo lang lahat ng cost incurred each year. 1,782 plus 2,068 plus 1,650, that's 5.5 million. Walang problema, positive, 1,010,000. So, ibig sabihin, wala tayong estimated loss. Okay, so, compute natin class yung percentage of completion. Cost incurred each year, 1,782 divided sa total cost of 5.4, 33% complete yan no 2023. 2024 naman class, cost incurred each year ng 2023 plus 2024, i-divide mo sa total cost of 5.5, 70% complete yung project by 2024, 100% complete naman yan by 2025. And then, alam na natin yung percentage of completion. I-apply lang natin yan, class. Doon sa table natin, 23, 24 year to date, 2025, and year to date. Yung revenue natin ay 6.6 million. Tama ba? Multiply natin by 33%, makukuha mo dyan is 2,178,000. Cost incurred, which is yung actual cost na 1,782, minus mo yan, yung gross profit ay 396,000. Gross profit natin for 2023. Punta tayo sa 2024. 70% complete na, tama ba? 6.6 million times 70%, lagay mo sa year to date, 4,620,000. 4,620 minus 2,178, 2,442,000 yung revenue natin ng 2024. Okay, yung cost incurred ng 2024 is 2,068, add mo siya, makukuha mo yung 3.85 million. I-minus mo yan, makukuha mo yung gross profit, 2024 is 374. Take note, ang tanong class sa 48 ay net income daw na 2024. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo i-minus yung operating expense na 90,000. Yung realized gross profit is 374, minus natin yung 90,000 na OPEX, net income sa 2024 is 284,000. Letter B tayo for number 48. Number 49, how much daw class yung RGP in 2025? So, 2025 ay complete na yung project natin. So, ang contract price, kasi may penalty. So, 6,510 times 100%, 6,510. Minus mo dun sa year-to-date na last time, 1.89 million. Cost incurred noong 2025 is 1,650,000. Ibig sabihin, class, yung revenue mo is 1,890,000. Cost incurred is 1,650,000. RGP noong 2025 natin is 240,000. Letter A for number 49. Okay, let's continue your discussion. Let's go to number 50. Number 50. And 51, this is about franchise. So, tingnan natin class. On January 1, 2024, NDTA granted franchise right to franchisee. NDTA will allow the franchisee the right to access his trade name for 10 years. So, ito yung solution natin dyan. Okay, so tingnan natin. The franchisee is required to pay an upfront fee of 20 million. So, yung 20 million, kailangan natin i-allocate based on their standalone selling prices. Continuing franchise fee 10%, it is an obligation to construct the franchise stall to deliver 10,000 units. Yun yung mga performance obligations. The standalone selling price for the right to access is 400,000 in yung trade name. And then standalone selling price for the stall 300,000. For the raw materials naman class 100. Total is 800,000. So allocate natin 20 million times 400 over 800, that's 10 million. 20 million times 300 over 800, that's 7.5. 20 million times 100 over 800, that's 4.5 million. On October 1, the entity already finished the construction of the stall. So yung stall, 100% complete na yan. So pwede nating i-recognize yung buong 7.5 million. NDTA only delivered 2,000 units. So 10,000 yung total units of materials. 4.5 times 2 over 10. Ang pwede mo na i-recognize na revenue is 500,000. And then yung trade name naman nating class ay over 10 years. So 10 million divided by 10, that's 1 million. I-total natin yan, makuha natin is 9 million. So number 50, under AFAR 15, what is the revenue recognized pertaining to delivery of materials? 500,000 yung materials. Letter D yung sagot natin for number 50. Number 51, under AFAR 15, what is the total revenue from initial franchise fee na compute natin class is 9 million. Letter A tayo for number 51. Okay, numbers 52 and 53, this is about consignment. Ito yung solution natin dyan class. Sige, let's read. Yung 52, what is the net income? 53 naman yung net remittance. A consignor consigned 10 items to a consignee and the items had a cost of 21,600 each. They agreed that 15% commission. Freight cost ang nagbayad ay si consignor. So walang problema, hindi natin kailangan i-reimburse si consignee. The following costs were paid by the consignee. Reimbursable by the consignor. Ito kailangan i-reimburse ni consignor. Selling expenses and cartage costs. At the end of the year, the consignee sold 6 items. Selling price 36,000. Compute natin yung net income. 6 items siya na benta. Selling price 36,000. Yung sales ay 216,000. Yung cost natin, punta ka dun sa first sentence, 21,600 each. 6 yung nabenta, 21,600 each. So, ang cost mo is 129,600. Don't forget na may freight tayo na 14,400. Yung 14,400 ay para sa 10 items yan. 14,400 over 10 times 6, 8,640. Yung cartage cost, mag-form part din siya of the cost. 1,800 yung total para sa 10 items times 6, 1,080. Don't forget the selling expenses, nakalagay 18,000. And yung commission, huwag mong makakalimutan yan. Commission dito ay 15% up to 16,000, that's 32,400. Net income is 26,280. Letter C, sagot natin class for number 52. 53, what is the amount of net remittance? Net remittance, so nakabenta ng 216. Don't forget na kailangan natin i-reimburse yung selling expenses na 18,000 and yung cartage cost na 1,800. Don't also forget yung commission na i-retain ni consignee na 32,400. Net remittance natin is 163,800. Letter A for number 53. Okay, numbers 54 to 57. So still forex and derivatives. So ang solution natin is nandito. Okay. So JKL Corp purchases merchandise. So nagbumili. Ibig sabihin meron tayong accounts payable from a exporter, 100,000 foreign currency. Ito siya, 100,000. Okay. JKL predicts the Philippine peso may probably weaken against the foreign currency. And then, nag-enter ng forward contract. Meron tayong spot rates and may forward rates. Punta tayo sa number 54. How much should JKL report as transaction gain or loss on its accounts payable? So, ang tanong sa atin is December 31, 2023. Take note, may payable tayo. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, class, spot rate tayo dyan. 0.4295 noong November 15 minus 4.245 noong December times 100,000, makuha mo dyan is 500. Gain tayo kasi bumaba. From 0.4295, bumaba siya. 0.4245, meron tayong gain. Bumaba yung babayaran natin. 500, letter A for number 54. Okay, number 55, how much transaction gain or loss naman sa accounts payable? 2024 naman, so next year. 100,000 times, noong December 31, 0.4245, naging 0.4345. Tumaas naman. So meron tayong loss na 1,000. Okay, letter D tayo for number 55. And then number 56, forward contract naman class yung pinag-uusapan natin. Ito yung solution natin, 100,000. Pag forward contract, tingin ka dun sa forward rate. Take note, kailangan natin ng 100,000 foreign currency. So bibili tayo. 4.325, naka-lock in, bibili natin at that amount. Bumaba. Pero lugi tayo kasi naka-lock in tayo at a higher amount. So may loss tayo na 250 loss. Letter D tayo for number 56. And also, don't forget na kung gain ka sa item, hedged item no 2023, okay, dapat loss ka dun sa hedging instrument no 2024. Okay? Compute na rin natin yung 2024 para sa forward contract natin or hedging instrument. 0.43 naging 0.4345 times 100,000 sa forward contract natin. Tumaas siya, so meron naman tayong gain this time, which is opposite ng loss na 1,000. So take note, may 450 gain tayo ng 2024. Punta tayo sa number 57. How much was the overall transaction gain or loss over the hedging relationship? So over the life of the contract, how much daw yung overall effect sa hedge natin? Doon tayo sa item. Tama ba class? Noong 2023, yung item natin ay meron tayong 500 gain, tapos meron tayong 1,000 loss. Ano yung net effect nun? 500 loss. Ito siya. Okay? Sa instrument naman, may 250 loss tayo and may 450 gain. So yung net effect niyan is 200 gain. Kaya yung overall effect class sa 2023 and 2024 is 300 loss. 500. For letter B for number 57. That is 300 loss. Okay, number 58 and number 59. This is about joint cost allocation. Okay, so 58, dito tayo. Sige, so BSA Industries manufactures ABC from a joint production process. Ang total joint cost natin is 58.8. So, allocate natin yan. And then, nakalagay dyan sa 58, compute the amount of joint cost allocated to B under the NRV method. Pag NRV, yung selling price after further processing, i-minus natin yung further processing cost and estimated cost to sell. Okay? So, punta tayo dun kay A muna. 40,000 minus 5,000 minus 4,000. NRV ni A ay 31,000. Kay B naman, 34,200 minus 4 minus 4,200 ay 26,000. 32,000 minus 3,000 minus 2,000 is 27. Ito yung NRV nila. Allocate natin class based on their NRV. Ang joint cost allocated to A is 21,700. To B is 18,200. To C naman is 18,900. Letter D tayo for number 58. Joint cost allocated to product B ay 18,200. Letter D. How much naman class daw yung unit cost for product B? So tingnan natin. Si product B, take note na yung joint cost allocated sa kanya ay 18,200. Okay, ito siya. And then, yung further processing cost niya is 4,000. Siyempre, kakapitalize natin sa inventory yun. I-divide mo sa 600 yung total units produced ni B. Therefore, sagot natin yung class is 37. Letter C for number 59. Okay? So, iyan yung solution natin for product B. Okay? Let's go to number 60. Which of the following consolidation items will affect only the consolidated net income attributable to parent but not on NCI? Alin daw class yung walang effect kay NCI? Lahat ay kay parent lang. Well, yung A, B, and D, lahat yan allocated kay parent and NCI. Yung letter C, gain on bargain purchase, remember, lahat yan 100% kay parent lang lagi. Yung gain on bargain purchase, 100% kay parent kasi siya yung bumibili. Hindi mo sa NCI So siya lang pwede mag-record ng gain. Number 61, goodwill is attributed to both the owners of the parent and NCI. Ibig sabihin, kailan doon natin i-allocate si goodwill kay parent and NCI? Well, i-allocate natin siya sa dalawa if sa NCI ay naka-measure sa fair value. Remember, yung working paper entries natin, kapag naka-proportionate share sa NCI, kay parent lang lahat ng goodwill. Pero pag naka-fair value, both kay parent and kay NCI yung goodwill. Okay, letter B tayo for number 61. Number 62, when consolidating the balance sheets of parent subsidiary, the working paper eliminating entries will, ang best answer dyan, punta ka sa letter D, remove the full balance of the parent's investment account and subsidiaries accounts, and adjust the assets and fair values of the subsidiary to fair value at the date of acquisition. Letter D for number 62. Number 63 and 64, ito, intercompany transactions. Ito yung solution ko dyan, class. Okay, so tingin kayo dito. Parent corporation regularly sells merchandise to its 80% owned subsidiary. In 2023, parent sold merchandise that cost 64,000. Ito yung cost daw, 64, to subs for 80,000. So, ibig sabihin, sales 80,000 minus 64, gross profit is 16,000. Okay? 2023, ibig sabihin, yun yung last year. Beginning inventory yan. Tama? And then, half of the merchandise remained in subs December 31, 2023 inventory. Multiply yung 50%, ibig sabihin, iyan yung unrealized gross profit sa ending inventory last year, 8,000. Okay? And we know, class, ang working paper entry natin dun sa beginning inventory or yung prior year sales ay debit RE, credit cost of goods sold, 8,000. Okay? Dun tayo sa current year. During 2024, yun yung current year, parents sold merchandise that cost 100, ito yung cost of goods sold, 125,000, iyan yung selling price. Therefore, gross profit is 25,000. 40% of this merchandise remained in subs December 31 inventory. Multiply by 40%, ito yung unrealized gross profit dun sa ending inventory. Working paper entry, debit natin yung sales, 125. Credit natin yung inventory na 10,000. Balancing figure, cost of goods sold, 115,000. Okay? 63, consolidated sales revenue. So, tingin kayo dito, class. Tingin ka dun sa sales revenue na presented sa atin sa given table, nasa baba. Sales revenue ng parent, 600,000. Sales revenue ni subsidiary, 300. Sa working paper entry natin, ang may sales dyan ay yung 125. Nag-debit tayo. So, minus 125. Therefore, yung conso sales natin, 775,000. Letter A for number 63. Take note, working paper entries ang ginamit natin to solve this problem. Number 64, conso cost of goods sold. Tingin ka sa income statement kay parent, meron siyang 480,000. Si sub, meron siyang 250. I-reflect natin yung working paper entry. First natin, yung cost of goods sold. Nag-credit, nagbawas tayo ng cost of goods sold, 8,000. Second entry natin, nag-credit tayo ng cost of goods sold, 115. Nagbawas tayo. Conso cost of goods sold, 607,000. Letter B tayo for number 64. Okay, so again, technique lang sa business combi. Consolidation, ang technique lang natin is working paper eliminating entries. Number 65. Okay, so ito yung backflash costing. Sige, the total RIP used to be backflash to finished goods and adjusted cost of goods sold. Take note, adjusted cost of goods sold. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin, naka-actual cost tayo. Okay? Sige, raw materials costing 70,000 were purchased. All direct materials costing 750 were requisitioned for production. So lahat ng binili natin raw materials, nilagay natin sa production. Direct labor costs, 500,000 were incurred. Actual factory overhead, 248,700. Applied conversion cost, 3,250. All units are completed and immediately sold. Okay, the total RIP used to be backflash to finished goods. Okay, so tingin tayo dun sa journal entry natin, dun sa backflash costing natin. So RIP natin, 750,000. Okay, yun yung ginamit natin ng materials. CC applied. So take note, kapag sa journal entry natin, CC applied yung credit, which is yung applied conversion cost sa 3,250. Ang tanong dito, class, ay yung total RIP daw. So ito yung sagot mo, ha, yung 750,000. Huwag mo sasagot yung 4 million kasi nakalagay total RIP to be backflash to finished goods. Ano daw yung credit to RIP natin? 750. Adjusted cost of goods sold, huwag mo gagamitin yung applied. Take note, at the end of the year, yung applied, kino-compare natin sa actual para ma-compute yung adjusted. Tama? Actual ang basis mo ngayon. So, yung raw material, 750. Direct labor, tingin ka dun sa third bullet, 500. Actual factory overhead sa fourth bullet, 248,700. Total mo is 3,737,500. Okay, so sagot mo dyan, class, letter C, 750,000 and 3,737,500 for number 65. Okay, so doon tayo sa number 66 and 67. Activity-based costing. XYZ Bank operates in a very competitive marketplace using traditional R labor-based system to determine the cost of processing its mortgage loans. Recently, the firm explored a switch to activity-based costing. Okay, so meron tayong tatlong activities. Meron tayong application processing, loan underwriting, and loan closure. Okay, AP, LU, and LC. Shorten na lang natin. Cost driver, so i-divide natin class. 900,000, i-divide mo sa 4,000, lagay mo dyan ay 225 per application. Okay, 225. Yung loan underwriting naman, 800,000 divided by 16,000 hours, lagay mo dyan 50 per hour. Okay, so 50 per hour. Sa loan closure naman, 880,000 legal hours divided by 8,000, lagay mo dyan class, 110 per hour. Okay, so yun yung mga overhead application rate natin. So, number 66, using activity-based costing, determine the total overhead cost applied to loans 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Ito total natin. Doon muna tayo kay 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. Sa first activity driver natin na applications, ilang application ba yan? Tig-isa lang yan. Tama? Si loan 1, 2, 3, isang application. Si loan 4, 5, 6, isang application. How much per application? 225. Kaya lagay ko dyan 225. Okay, 225 and 225. Doon tayo sa loan underwriting. Tama ba class? 50 per hour yan. Tingin ka doon sa second paragraph. How much, ilang hours yung loan underwriting ni loan 1, 2, 3? 3.5 hours. 50 times 3.5, doon ko nakuha yung 175. And then, doon naman kay loan 456, 50 times 2, doon ko nakuha yung 100. Okay? Doon naman tayo sa loan closure. Again, nakukompute natin kanina, 110 per hour. 110 times 1.5, doon ko nakuha yung 165. 110 times 3, doon ko nakuha yung 330. Add mo yan, 565 plus 655, add mo yung dalawa, makukuha mo yung total is 1220. Letter C tayo for number 66. 67, determine the total overhead. What if naman class? Ay, yung traditional costing, okay? So, labor, direct labor naman tayo, or labor-based system. Assume that each application took 9 hours. Okay, so yung application, 9 hours daw, kaya ginawa ko dito, 9 hours times, dalawa yung application natin, si 1, 2, 3 at si 4, 5, 6. 9 times 2, 18 hours tayo kay application. Walang problema. Doon naman tayo kay loan underwriting. Yung loan underwriting natin kay loan 1, 2, 3 ay 3.5, kay 4, 5, 6 naman ay 2. 3.5 plus 2, nakuha natin yung 5.5. Yung loan closure naman kay 1, 2, 3 ay 1.5 hours, kay 4, 5, 6 ay 3 hours, kaya nakuha ko ay 4.5. Ang total hours natin para sa dalawang loans ay 28. Kailangan i-multiply natin yan sa overhead rate, okay, sa traditional. Now, ano ba yung overhead rate natin? Ang total overhead ay 2,580,000. Kailangan natin makompute ilang hours yung total. Okay? So, ganito ginawa ko diyang class. Ilang total hours dun sa application processing? Tingin ka dun sa table na given sa gitna. 4,000 nakalagay dyan. Units. Okay? 4,000, sabi dyan, 9 hours daw per application. 4,000 times 9, 36,000 yung total hours. Sa loan underwriting naman, given na siya, 16,000. Sa loan closure naman ay given na rin 8,000. So, total natin is 60,000. 2,580,000 yung total overhead. Divide mo sa total hours na 60,000, 43 per hour. Para dun sa loans 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 28 hours na compute natin times 43, ang total is 1,204. Kaya sagot mo dyan, class, sa number 67 is letter C. Okay, so last problem na for AFAR. This is about process costing. So, ito yung solution ko dito, class. Okay, so tingnan natin. Pinnacle Corp uses process costing in its operations and adopts the weighted average method in costing its production. The finishing department is the second and last stage before the product is transferred to finished goods. Materials are added following inspection, which occurs at the end of the process. So normal spoilage is to be 2% of good output. Ibig sabihin, 2% of finished goods. Okay, yun yung normal spoilage natin. The data are available in relation to production activities for March. So, tingnan natin. In process March 1, units to account, itong WIP beginning natin to 10,000 units. Okay, tingin ka sa baba, received from the preceding department 40,000 units. WIP beginning plus transferred in, ito yung units to account for natin, 50,000. So, units accounted for, nakalagay dyan class, completed and transferred to finished goods, 38,000 units. And take note, yung normal spoilage natin is 2% ng 38,000. 38,000 times 2%, 760 yung normal spoilage. Kung titingin ka sa given, nakalagay lost units ay 1,000. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang lost units mo ay 1,000, minus 760 na normal spoilage, 240 yung abnormal spoilage. In process, March 31, 11,000. Yun yung whip end natin. Pag tinutal mo, consistent tayo, 50,000. Don't forget na second department na tayo. So, dapat may trans-in column ka dyan. Always 100%. So, EUP mo for trans-in is also 50,000. Okay? Doon naman tayo sa materials. Take note na ang sabi dyan sa given, sa third sentence, yung materials daw ay nilalagay following inspection. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga spoiled units natin, walang materials yan. Siyempre, yung finished goods meron. Yung whip end, hindi pa siya kasi 50% complete yung whip end eh. Ang inspection natin is at 100%. Wala pa siyang materials. EUP natin sa materials, 38,000. Doon naman tayo sa conversion cost. Again, yung inspection point natin is 100%. So yung finished goods, always 100%. Normal spoilage, abnormal spoilage, 100%. 50% complete yung whip end natin. EUP for conversion cost is 44,500. Next step natin, let's compute for the cost per EUP. Take note, weighted average. So, sasama natin yung cost sa whip beginning natin. Doon muna tayo sa trans-in, 38,000. Ito yung cost sa preceding department, 38. Yung sa current naman is 140,000. Okay? Cost from this department is 140. Divide mo sa 50,000. Cost per EUP natin as to trans-in is 3.56. Doon tayo sa materials. Previous department, sa whip beginning, 21.2. Plus natin yung current na 70,000. Divide natin yung 38,000. Cost per EUP sa materials, 2.4. Doon naman tayo sa conversion cost. Whip beginning, 81.3. Current is 292,500 over 44.5 na EUP. Cost per EUP is 8.4 para dun sa conversion cost. Okay, so alam natin yung cost per EUP. Multiply na natin siya. Punta tayo dun sa number 68. How much daw yung total cost of completed units transferred to finished goods? Finished goods natin, dun tayo sa trans-in. Okay? How much yung finished goods natin? 38,000, tama? And then, ang cost per EUP, 3.56, 2.4 plus 8.4. So, ginawa ko, in-add ko lahat ng cost per EUP, minultiply ko sa 38,000. Don't forget, so nakuha ko dyan is 545,680. Hindi pa yun yung sagot. Kasi yung normal spoilage, allocate natin sa finished goods yan. Tama ba? So, yung 760 na normal spoilage, okay, ang meron lang normal spoilage ay yung trans-in natin at yung conversion cost. Kasi zero yun sa materials. Kasi hindi pa nare-reach yung end of processing, okay? Or yes, kasi sa dulo yung nilalagay yung material. So 760 times 3.56 plus 760 times 760 times 8.4. Nakuha ko diyang class, yung normal spoilage is 9089.6. Finished goods, add yung normal spoilage. Ang total ko dyan, 554,770. Letter C, sagot natin for number 68. 69, abnormal spoilage naman tayo class. So yung abnormal spoilage, 240 times, ang may abnormal spoilage tayo, yung trans-in na 3.56 and yung conversion cost natin na 8.4. Yung abnormal spoilage, syempre, walang materials yan kasi yung materials nilalagay natin after inspection. Pag nakita mong spoiled units, huwag mo nalagay ng materials. So, makukuha ko dyan class 2870. That's why sagot natin sa number 69 is also letter C. And last one natin, yung whip end. Yung whip end natin, 11,000 times 3.56. Yan yung para sa trans-in. And then, wala tayong whip end sa materials kasi, again, 50% complete pa lang yung whip end natin. Doon naman sa conversion cost, 55 times 8.4, makukuha mong total whip end natin is 85,360. So for number 70, that's letter A. Okay, so that's it for AFAR final pre-boards.
At the Libertarian National Convention, and I really do feel like it is cool to see someone who is so passionate about something and who has a fresh approach get that spot. Obviously the Matt Gaetz thing was a little bit sad, but it seems like the new AG is an interesting choice. Yeah, but it's always interesting because every time, to your point, the legacy media freaks out and they're like, "This is the end of the world. Everything is awful
We're all
now."
going to die.
And I think it's going to hurt their credibility. I mean, I think so many Americans are aware that their main goal is to just spin in favor of Democrats, but Americans individually are going to look at these people and be like, I don't know, I kind of like that person. I don't know why you don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, if they could get any favorable coverage whatsoever, like to read the legacy media, you'd think that Tulsi Gabbard was basically a spy for Putin. Like she went over and did ninja training over in Siberia. Now she's basically like James S. Bond, only in reverse or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that Trump still watches, because what did he watch when he was in office? He watched, like, was it Fox and Friends? There was some show that he reportedly watched every day.
Supposedly it was the Gorilla Channel, but
No, it wasn't. You're lying to me.
did you ever see that meme, the Gorilla Channel meme?
No.
Oh
You
my
have to send it to
God.
me. I have to see it.
Oh, just look up Gorilla Channel Trump. There's a million articles on that.
That's
She's
so
never
funny.
heard of the Gorilla Channel. Yes,
Look, I feel like I'm barely on the
story-
internet. You're like lord of a whole corner of the internet, and I'm over here like, wow, this place is crazy.
I'm a proud 4chaner. Yeah, the story was, in addition to Donald Trump having hookers piss on the Obama's bed and things like that, that he also at one point, this was great. Oh, it's one of the greatest memes in all of existence. That one time he insisted that there was a channel called the Gorilla Channel. And so he like talked to the Secret Service about this. He's like, why can't I get the Gorilla Channel? And they don't know what the hell he's talking about. So they like made a compilation, like a playlist of videos of gorillas beating on each other. And then he would just sit there watching it over and over again and laughing.
Oh my gosh. I hope that's
And there
true,
were people
honestly.
that, no, it's not true, but people believed it.
Look,
the way-
I wish it was, though. It's kind of funny.
I wish it was.
Also, in the nominations was Jay Bhattacharya to the NIH. That seems pretty based.
I don't know enough about him. What do you like about him?
I like that he was based on the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
And that he was banned off of X for speaking out against it. And now he's at the NIH.
Do you think
And
you'll see a
if he
wave
was
of mass
banned-
resignations? Because all of the entrenched people who have worked there forever are gonna see that he's the head and be mad about it, or you think they're just gonna be like, "Fine, we're staying here, changing leadership"?
I think that it's a deep six-figure job that most people are not going to walk away from.
Yeah.
You'll see some people will, but like Jack Posobiec was like, "Oh, there's going to be mass." He does this. I love Jack, but he does these things where he tweets us out, and it's like per White House source, and it's like mass resignations coming at the FBI. Bullshit. You're not going to see mass resignations of people who are making 175 grand a year, who have premium health insurance, premium 401ks. They're not you'll have one or two people who are already rich. But these are people that I mean, I don't know. Do you disagree?
No,
Well,
I don't.
It could be both, because if older individuals that are close to leaving anyway, if they think that they're going to get fired,
That
maybe
way.
they preserve their pensions. That's what I think is going to happen. You will see some,
Like
not
Jack
mass
Smith.
resignations, but a more significant number of people, simply because they're like, oh shit, I fucked up.
Mhm.
Oh shit, I broke the law. I'm going to lose my pension, or I'm going to preserve it. And so they simply go.
Yeah. I almost wonder I think you're right. Like, people who have already committed a couple decades to this career but aren't super close to retirement, they're going to hang on unless they are, to Styx's point, afraid that it's quitting is the only way to preserve their financial benefit. But I was always struck by the wave of and it wasn't hundreds, but there were enough of younger people who are newer in their government careers, who are like, I am leaving because of what the Biden administration is doing in Palestine. And
Yeah.
it makes me wonder if you'll get this people who have only been on the job for a year or two, maybe less than 5 years.
Those were
who
all
are like,
young
I'm
ideologues, though.
Right.
I don't think
and that's
any of them
the
were
thing.
in
That's
big.
like a whole,
Go ahead.
but that's a whole class of bureaucrats that have suddenly dropped out.
True.
I mean, that's
True.
fascinating to me that you would possibly get this on the young level.
Yeah.
And now they can be replaced with better people, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the I want to get some viewer comments. Get you a vacuum sealer, make stuff last longer. I do have a vacuum sealer, but you would have to have cooked it and then put it in the freezer. You can't leave it out like in the fridge for a long time. David Dorr says the dowry queen returns. Now all we need is a failed musician to make this show really pop. Aw. You can say two sticks. Even though I'm still salty about you think I'm a psychopath for liking candy corn. You are a psychopath.
Yes. Candy corn is officially banned here.
Yes. Brandon Wassmiller says, pardon doesn't mean he can't be called to testify against others. Right. I know I'm just getting that to now, but we did talk about that. Daniel Yeager says, oh yeah, you brought up the J Bhattacharya one. Demon Knight says, these parasites aren't going to give up their cushy jobs. They will lay low and wait it out and hope they don't get told. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if I was making what these people make, and some horrible person took over, the company where I worked, I wouldn't leave. I might quiet quit, but there's no job that they can move into laterally from intelligence where they have a huge salary and incredible health benefits to very easily. Not anybody who's at entry level. If you've been there,
they'd end up doing mall cop work maybe or something like that.
Right. And you're going to go from making 140 to 170 grand a year to 40, 50 grand with far worse of everything. Andrea says, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I rewatched both Airplane movies, The First Naked Gun and Spaceballs. So I certainly did. Yeah, that sounds great. Welcome back to the great Hannah Claire. Quiggy Inferno says, hey, Sticks, how was the Bigfoot video I sent you? He sent you a Bigfoot video?
Yes. I actually did not get around to watching it yet again. I do apologize.
Or was it just a video of a Bigfoot? Was it a Yeti?
I think it's supposedly police footage or something of a Bigfoot, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I haven't had time to watch it.
Sticks, what's your stance on Bigfoot? Real, fake, undetermined?
Plausible, but not determined.
It's real. Yeti is real.
Well, I mean, we've got Jeremy here. You're like, what, 6'7"?
Yeah, I mean,
we've got proof.
It's not that dissimilar. I mean,
does the Bigfoot come to your family reunions? I guess is the question. Do you know him?
I have a 9-foot like metal Bigfoot that's painted brown. That's like peeking out from the forest in front of my house that I bought. And there was a nationally cited squat sighting just like 100 yards from my house. Just saying.
Pretty cool.
I mean, I'll put it this way. I believe all footage of Bigfoot has been basically debunked. But it's not like a large primate couldn't exist. We know that primates do.
Yeah.
So I am not super up onto the lore, but I live in an area there were a lot of cryptids. Is the Bigfoot one Bigfoot, or do you think it's a species and there are lots of them?
It's a species.
It would be a species.
Yeah. It would be
probably some offshoot of Gigantopithecus.
Yeah. And it would be like in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. When people say that they've seen Bigfoot in most other places, other than those that are more historical, those ones I pretty much completely discount. Like, I can't imagine that Bigfoot's going to be wandering through a fucking cornfield in Iowa, for example.
Right.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Jack says, Joe possibly shot himself in the foot with the pardon. Yeah, I brought that up, Jack. Big agreed. Derek Shields, Sticks will appreciate this take. Hunter should have fought to win on appeal, merit, and standings, citing violations of his Second Amendment constitutional rights, setting precedent for case law nationwide. Yeah, he was never going to win that. But
also, he doesn't care about the case law. He cares about himself. Like, he's not here to be part of a big movement.
Mm-hmm.
If he did have principles, though, that is the way that he would do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I mean, people need to understand he's not our guy or something like that simply because he was brought up on anti-gunnery charges.
Yeah, and people in chat who are getting offended about our jokes about the writing off hookers, like, it's just a joke. Someone was like, oh, so human trafficking is funny now? It's just a joke. No, I don't think human trafficking.
At least most of the hookers appear to have been adult females. There are a few of them, though, that not 100% sure, and it's more like,
human trafficking is not funny. Hunter Biden being a well-known politician's son and being like, I'm going to file my taxes this way is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I talked to Donald Trump Jr. once when some of the tax stuff was coming out. He was like, My dad is a wealthy businessman. He was running for president. Like, we all knew our taxes had to be spotless. Meanwhile, Hunter Biden's like, let me see what I can write down.
Yeah, $200K for adult entertainment.
And can you imagine, some of these women probably knew who he was.
Of course, they were probably sent.
And like,
But the biggest thing for me is if he was really compromised, like, why was he paying for these women? You would think that someone would have been sending them. But I guess when you're a drug addict, you're really easy to like. I mean, the laptop was 100% real. We knew that in 2016.
He got so high he was smoking Parmesan cheese. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
not necessarily the best judge of character. I've got to duck out for just a second. Okay, I gotta use the bathroom.
Cam says we need to bring as much attention as possible to the U.S. versus Skermetti Supreme Court case. What it means to parental rights. I'm unfamiliar with it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
This is one I know off the top of my head.
Trans stuff?
I think it is, but I don't want to speak out of turn.
Yeah, with certain medical treatments for trans adolescents. And it violates the 14th Amendment.
I love starting to flag Supreme Court cases. So if there are things the audience wants, me or you to keep an eye on, I'm happy to like make it a priority.
Yeah, you should do that on that one. That's trans mutilation on kids. I've always had the same position on that. I know it's stupid that it's this arbitrary age. Like, I always felt this way about tattoos. Like, what makes you more mature at 18 than at 17 and 364 days to be able to get a tattoo? But the same, if you want to, pay some crooked doctor to perform a double mastectomy on you when you're 18, I got nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
When you're 14, 15, 16, that should be illegal. Like, if I can't get a tattoo, you shouldn't be able to chop off your breasts, or
you can't buy beer. Like, you can't drink at 18.
You can't rent a car till you're 25.
It doesn't. I think it's so weird. I understand. I agree with you. Like, there are some 16-year-olds you meet and you're like, wow, you're very smart for your age, whatever else. Yeah. And there are some 19-year-olds you meet and you're like, how do you leave the house every day? But we have to set a standard. And so if 18 is the standard, I'm willing to follow the case through. My thing is, like, why is 18 the standard for the draft and for voting, but for renting a car, all of these businesses have, I guess, decided that your frontal cortex,
they're going to discriminate against risk. You. Yeah.
Right. At 21, you can start drinking. It doesn't make sense. And so this tiered graduation into adulthood, if it's going to be something we have, I would think physically permanently mutilating your body should be 21 even. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go with 18 because that's our standard, but we have to get more consistent on these things.
Yeah. And I think, there are loopholes. Like, you could drink with your parents present, which I think is stupid. But you can, at least in Wisconsin. Like, if you go ahead.
Europe, it's like you can drink beer and wine at 16, but spirits or like liquor at a later age. I mean, all sorts of cultures handle these questions differently. It's just weird to me that in America, for whatever reason, they're pushing to have you on permanent hormones that have long-term effects on your body, but they're like, but don't buy a tequila shot. You're too young and dumb for that. Yeah,
you can't. Yeah, I if you can fight and die for your country in war, then you should have all rights. Like, I think, when they moved the cigarette age in some states up to 21, right? Like, if I can, fine, then I can't go, then I'm not going to war until I'm 21. Like, if I can't smoke a cigarette, but I can go die for oil, get fucked.
And they used to give the soldiers cigarettes too. They used to be in MREs and stuff like that. You'd have those little 4-packs and shit.
Yeah, the Lucky Strikes. Yeah. Question. Okay, Hillary's trying to groom Chelsea for a political career. Like her mother, Chelsea has zero charisma. Yeah, they are both walking cringe. Cash was the best possible choice from Tim's final graphics card. That's where you went. There was some rumor that he wasn't the first choice. I don't know who was. Anything other than Cash would have been a stain on a pretty rocky string of Trump nominations. Like, he started out great, but then he kind of was poor on several. Then I think, the NIH, RFK, Kash Patel saved his. I mean, his cabinet's way better. There's a lot of like Republican doomers. They're like, oh my God, this just isn't perfect, so therefore it's failure. His cabinet is pretty good compared to.
I have a
2016.
feeling that a lot of those are liberal commentators that are trying to doom pill more than anything else. That they're not actually like Republicans or anything like that.
Look,
Or
and
they're the
Trump is
Republicans
famous-
against Trump. Those people, Nikki
Yeah.
Haley
Right.
voters.
I mean, the other thing is like Trump is famous for firing people. The liberal media always gives him a hard time about like turnover with his press secretaries or chief of staff or whatever else. I thought his chief of staff pick looks really promising. But
The chick,
you know,
yeah, she's good,
yeah.
right?
Stu Isles. But the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I think if there's someone bad, especially because Trump is so plugged into Truth Social and X, like he's gonna know about it, and he's not going to just wait around. This is his last time as president, and so if you don't love a pick right now, let's just see if they get through, and then assume that Trump will handle it. If it's not working out, there's no reason to think that this is like the end of everything.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
we need to hold Trump accountable if he does fuck up. We shouldn't expect fuck ups.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
expect the best. If something does go wrong, everyone's going to criticize him anyway, because people are fickle, number one, and because other people just simply want to hold him accountable, number two, because they're expecting great things from him.
As,
So it shouldn't be a problem.
I'd like you two to break down this 36-second video, completely apolitical. Summarize it in 3 sentences. Okay. Hold on, I'm back. The question not necessarily about what this young future president is doing. It's how the people react that I want to get your take on. Thoughts? I don't know who this white lady is, but she's definitely your classic. She's the problem. Like, I don't know who she is, but I hate her.
She's not her mom.
No.
Right? Like she's some woman who is like, don't do that. Don't yell at this little girl. You don't know what she's going through. But she's also apparently not going to be on the hook for all the merchandise that's just been like broken all over the floor or stomped on.
Well, now there's broken glass on the ground.
Right.
Somebody could get seriously hurt.
Also, like, where are her parents being like, hey, stop immediately?
I could make one hell of a joke right now, but it would probably get the stream taken down. So no, yes, kid is having a tantrum. Clearly doesn't have proper training in etiquette and behavior. There might be a reason for this.
I can tell you this much: if this was my parents, I'd be getting my ass spanked in the store in front of everybody. Like, there's no, I mean, this chick is the most annoying, but it's also everyone else. Like this chick here, it's like, yeah, don't touch her. Now, I guess there is some weirdness. I think about, like, if this were me, and let's just say it's some little black girl, am I going to go pick her up and restrain her? I don't think so. I'm not trying to go to jail. I'm not trying to get my ass beat by this kid's entourage when they finally show up.
That's the problem. These days, if you did intervene, you'd be the one getting your ass beaten.
Yeah, there was a proper time where somebody would have grabbed this kid and, like, walked him to the front of the store and been like,
well, and that's why the guy at the end who kind of like immediately approaches her and like puts his arm
the
up,
only man around,
which I was like, is that your dad? And that's why he feels comfortable doing that. And then this other lady's like, don't talk to her that way. But there's also a woman in the back being like, baby, like trying to like docile calm this child down. It is amazing to me. Like, I would have never done something like this as a kid, but part of it is this kid is like doing it, seeing that she's getting more attention, and then keeps going. In fact, she kind of escalates to throwing the bottles.
Yeah.
That's that's very bizarre. I mean,
It's
this
clearly been
child
going on
obviously
a
has no
while.
consequences.
You
Yeah.
have
Oddly,
1, 2,
oddly
3,
enough, we know
4.
that this is not a future Democrat because otherwise she would be chugging the bottles.
That was just grape juice. She knew.
Oh,
With there's a half dozen Walmart employees standing right here, like, what the fuck do we do? Like everybody's looking. I don't know if this